Welcome from the deep. I am Mike the Finder.
And I am Book of Brett.
And today we are doing something just a little bit different. We have never ever done a video like this. Today's video is going to be a responding to comments type video. And the reason we're doing that is because we have recently just hit 100 subs, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I know that we've been doing this for about a year. And we have finally hit 100 subs because I feel like we're finally on a roll with all of our videos. So I think we have finally kind of figured out.
Putting a effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only that. I think we finally figured out sort of the identity of what this channel is. Yeah. And with that has gone some slight, very, very slight and small successes on this channel, which has allowed people to find us. So with this new 100 subs, I think we thought it would be a good idea to kind of go through some of your comments and respond to some of these. Some of these are people being jerks. Some of these are people being nice.
Let's be clear, it's not a good idea.
No.
But we thought it would be a good idea.
No. Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. So let's just get right into this. I don't want this to be an hour-long video. So we have picked out some comments that we are going to respond to. Now, the first one of these is actually really weird because it is from the Top Gun video, and just for a little bit of reference, the Top Gun thumbnail says this movie was made for stupid people. So right off the bat, it's a little mean, I guess.
Well, and I've had my own experiences in real life talking to people about this because, like, I've got a few friends that'll watch the episode and then talk to me in real life. I've talked to other people and gave them the opinion that I had in the video in real life. And yeah, not popular opinion in real life either, apparently.
Yeah, that's not actually that surprising. For some reason, people love Top Gun. If you want to hear our entire thoughts on Top Gun, I will link this up top right now. And just, you know, be aware, our opinions are not super popular on that. But for some reason, the comment that we're going to respond to here is not actually on this thing. You can see it says 5 comments here, and there's only 3, which means there are 2 comments not showing on here for some reason, but luckily Brett has it. Do you want to go ahead and tell us what that comment is?
Yes, it's from Screw Them 3 months ago, and it just says simply, "You guys are assholes. I love it." Yes, we are. We're very opinionated, and the opinions that we have, we stand by. It's why we will probably never make an apology video unless one of us gets canceled. Me. But yeah, no, it's I guess for me, it's like, yeah, we're being assholes, but not like, I don't know, not for the sake of entertainment, just because those are the opinions that we have. I mean, I feel like sometimes we get a little caught up in like doing an episode, and so like some of it'll come out a little more energetic, animated, heated than it normally would in like a normal conversation. But yeah. Yeah, no, we're totally assholes, and we know this. And Mike has a quote that he said years and years and years ago, which was, "Just because I'm an asshole doesn't mean that I'm wrong." And and I can't think of a truer format or a more relatable format for that comment.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that these are opinions. These are opinions. Sometimes we're going to make jokes aimed at people, but I would never sit there and go, because my opinion, I think my opinion's right. You're stupid for thinking that, unless you start bringing facts into it, or facts that, you know.
I also just want to say they are opinions, but they're also opinions coming from 2 morons that don't, I don't know, have anything other than opinions to offer, I guess. On this channel, we don't offer much other than our opinions, and if you don't like that, if you're not into that sort of a thing, I don't know why you're watching us. I appreciate that you said you loved it. That's very cool. We are assholes, but that's just kind of how it goes. So
we're fun assholes, or as I like to call, fun holes.
Moving right along here, we're going to go down to the next comment. And we're going to start with this. This is off of our "Are Blu-ray and DVDs already dead?" video. Now, this turned out to be
shit for that one.
This turned out to be sort of a divisive video. I knew that it was going to get people's attention because of how we labeled it and how we titled it and all that stuff. But this is one of those videos that in itself was kind of a responding to comments video, and so I thought it would be kind of good to go through a couple of the comments on off this video specifically, because there are some doozies on here.
Yeah, there were.
First and foremost, Chris says DVDs account for 55% of physical media sales. Blu-ray has 35% and 4K has 10%. That 10% DVD figure is just false. Now, before we go super into that, we're also going to go read this guy's comment. This is from Jason Klein. And then I'm going to let Brett is the one that brought all of this up, so I'm going to let him respond to it, but I will read this comment.
And I do want to say, just so everybody knows, and I don't know if this will help take flack off of Mike, if there are shitty comments and it's a response under From the Deep, there's a really good chance I'm the one talking to you.
Yeah.
Because I am much more apt to open my big fat mouth than Mike is. So I just want to put that out there because I don't, I just want people to know, put a face to the sarcasm.
I do respond to some of them, but generally speaking, I'm doing the back end of most of this, and Brett is way more on the front end of it as far as dealing with comments and all that stuff goes. So, Jason Klein 2 weeks ago said, "I hardly ever downvote videos on YouTube because creators are doing their best, but Brett honestly has no clue, and people spouting off that have no clue about a topic is just terrible. His rant on why keep making DVDs, period." Anyway, he keeps going on.
That one went on for a very long time.
I didn't mean to cut. I'll probably cut most of that down in editing because this sort of veers off into a direction that's not necessarily. But what I mainly wanted to talk about is DVD sales account for 55% of physical media sales, and what he's saying here, where his rant on why keep making DVDs. So I will let you go ahead and respond to that, and then I'll give you my 2 cents on the whole thing.
So the whole DVD 55%. First of all, I can't remember the exact article I got from that. I believe it was. I want to say it was like MSNBC or something like that.
So if we look right here at your comment that says this was a figure based on a Business Insider article from last year. I find a couple of sources that stated 55%-ish, but they were 2 to 3 years old. I also found other articles saying that 4K makes up a mere 5% of the market, and some stated more.
Because I am fully aware that sometimes I'm gonna be full of shit. I don't have all the knowledge of everything in my head. And so when I say these things, I might not know innately, but I will at least go look it up. And somebody else called me out on another comment about the figure, and I think at the end of the day what I learned is different sources have different information. I don't know what they're basing them on. I don't know what they're calling DVDs, if they're just lumping all discs into that. I'm not sure what's going on there. I will say I have a really hard time I have a hard time believing that DVDs can, are 55% of the market, but I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. I went after that comment, after he didn't respond, it's kind of like I didn't respond back, but I did go look it up. I got so many different figures from so many different sources. However, I did go look up the information before I ran my mouth, and maybe the information was wrong. I'm fully, I'll admit when the information's wrong. Other people thought that information was wrong. So I don't think any of us know what we're talking about because we obsess over movies. I'm not doing this in a chemistry lab and then on break going and making a YouTube video. I didn't get done working on SpaceX and then go, oh, it's lunch. Let's fire up the camera and make an episode. Hey, Mike, you ready? I'm going to get my information from different sources, and sometimes it's going to be wrong. My bad.
Well, I also think it's important to say here that this kind of goes back to our first comment. We're just two idiots talking into microphones, and these are mostly our opinions. When we state something as a fact, it does not necessarily mean that the sources we got it from are 100% correct. But we did both name our sources and also tell you guys in several comments, we're not exactly sure what the numbers are, but those are the numbers that we found when looking all of this stuff up.
Right.
I had, before we did that episode, I was under the impression that it was 55% as well, because that is something I had read, but that figure that I had in my head was probably 4 years old. So
Right.
a lot can change and happen within 4 years, and these things are always ebbing and flowing, especially DVD sales like this. That shit is dying, and, you know, it's weird that so many people are so caught up in the sales number and not the point of that video, which was like...
That's a good point. That's a good point. That wasn't even the fucking point of that video.
Which is exactly how
the
the video that I made, which was Dear Blu-ray and DVD Collectors, I had mentioned in that video that I thought Blu-rays and DVDs were dying, which is where this episode came from, but that wasn't the focus of that video, and it's what everybody laser focused in on. And so it just goes to show that we can't choose what they're focusing on. In the video, we can just make a video and sort of defend what we say within said video. So, okay, so I want to go to this, one more comment off this video, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. This one is from PT. I will let you read this one. This one is about
PT. PT said, I have a 7.2.4 setup in 4K Panasonic player, 150 and 6x9 screen, 90 WPC external amplifier to each bed layer speaker. I have 160 physical Blu-ray and 4K discs. Video. My eyes can't tell the difference between Disney Plus streaming and physical media. Your eyes are broken. Audio. Winner equals physical media. Won't argue with you on that one. But adding an external amplifier really improved the quality of streaming. Improved doesn't mean that it got better than the other thing it was competing against. So if a movie on Disney Plus has IMAX enhanced, I'd rather watch via streaming with the sound externally amplified. If the audio is better on the physical media and you can't tell the difference between the digital and the physical media, why are you going with the digital media if the clear winner is still the physical media, regardless of the aspect in which it's better? Doesn't make any sense. Although streaming is susceptible to slower internet speeds, so does physical discs, which sometimes pauses or locks up. I have two that have ever done that.
I've never had that happen to me, ever.
With two. One of them was the new Candyman on 4K.
Interesting.
It's only happened twice among my 160 discs. Oh, well, okay, there you go. Physical discs have the annoying long wait due to piracy warnings and previews. Okay. First of all, those waits are like 15 seconds, bro. Come on. Come on. Like, just take your Ritalin, get through the beginning, and you can watch the movie. But the whole point here is, because this went back, this is actually the one that I think I went back and forth with the most. And my goal when I'm talking to people like this is to be like, is to defend my opinion, but not be a complete prick about it. And I won't lie, like, I have to delete a lot of stuff before I post it because of shit like this, because my first reaction is to just react rather than converse and debate. But again, I think we covered pretty much what's wrong with this comment is, like, the things you're seeing are, I can't tell the difference. I can't do this. I can't see this. I don't notice that. Just because you don't notice it doesn't mean it's better, the same, or worse.
Amen.
I mean, just from a technical standpoint, physical media is better. From a technical standpoint, and we're not going to get into all of it here because I went into it a lot with the comments, but
we also went into it a lot in that video, so I will link that up top here if you want to hear us go into that.
Yeah, but again, it's people like this, and I'm not going to lie, people call me out a lot more than they call you out, is something that I've noticed when it comes down to this kind of shit.
I have a tendency to be careful with my words as far as stuff like that goes.
Fuck that. No.
Exactly.
But if you look through the comments, all the comments, unless I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, but from what I can remember, all the comments either call us out or they call me out. I don't know if anybody's ever just called you out straightforward in the comments.
They have, but not since starting this channel. It was, I think, our Star Wars episode.
Okay.
And somebody had said that I was just constantly, do you remember this? I was constantly interrupting you.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
That I think is the only real one that I've seen, and which is something I've tried to work on since I got that comment.
Well, we've also known each other for 2 decades, and I think what happens is while one of us is talking, we're simultaneously listening to what the other person's saying, and the conversation between us goes smoothly normally, but it does not translate to a format like this.
Not always, which is why I have to edit what we say so much. Yeah.
My point is, like, if somebody calls me out because they think my opinion's wrong, that's fine. Like, I can deal with the fact that people don't agree with me. Sometimes I feel like that I can deal with them not agreeing with me a whole lot more than the inverse of that statement. Because people get really pissed off, and I understand people are very passionate about this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's an opinion. And it's like, I will debate an opinion, but I'm not going to sit there and go, Brett doesn't know what he's talking about. Ooh, what do you have to say? I'll bet this will be interesting. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But when people call me out on the technical stuff, it's like, yeah, sometimes I might be wrong, and I will admit when I'm wrong. But a lot of this stuff, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and so to sit there and go, no, you're wrong, when you're talking about things that can easily be looked up, it's like, just because you don't think so, that's fine if you can't tell the difference. But it's still better.
Well,
and that's the point.
I mean, I definitely agree. Just because you can't tell the difference does not mean the difference is not there. This is something that I think a lot of people, and in that video, I think we talk about it quite a bit, where it's like most people don't care what the difference is.
Yeah. Which is fun.
It's ease of use is winning that battle. And because ease of use is winning that battle, and not to mention, internet is getting better, and video compression is also getting better. And what we said in that video is we're never going to get 8K. That might happen if somebody breaks some barrier with video compression. All of this stuff gets better as time goes on, but just because you cannot tell the difference between a streaming 4K movie and a physical 4K movie, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's something that is so glaringly obvious to not only me, but also Brett, that I don't even really know how to respond to that, because my brain will not allow me to comprehend what you're saying because it's so factually wrong. So, you know, on my Blu-ray and DVD video that kind of blew my channel up, I had sent something on there that was like, I think HD DVDs look better than Blu-rays. A whole bunch of people gave me a whole bunch of technical reasons as to why that's not true. I took those technical reasons and said, okay, you guys are absolutely correct. What I should have said was I prefer HD DVD over Blu-ray, or did at the beginning. And so this is all the type of stuff I'm talking about. Yes, exactly. It is my preference, but not being able to tell the difference is something totally different. And that may be one of those things that's like, you can't really tell the difference between 7.1 and 5.1. If you can't tell the difference, it's because you've never sat in a 5.1 and a 7.1 area. Like, that's just... These are just things you may not be able to tell the difference because you don't know what you're looking for, and that doesn't make you wrong or stupid, but it does make you seem foolish whenever you're spouting stuff like this off, and it's glaringly obvious you don't know what you're talking about.
It might not make you wrong or stupid, but if you come at me like this in the comments, I'm going to treat you like you're wrong and stupid.
This is why I think you get called out more than I do, though, because I have a point in most of my videos to say, let's have a conversation and a back and forth. We don't need to be fighting against each other about movies. That's so silly and dumb. And I have a tendency to be a little less aggressive and confrontational with people in a back and forth in that way.
For me, it's implied in something like this that when I am talking about these things, that they are opinions. And so, I mean, go look at my channel, Book of Brett. Every video on there. For Christ's sake, I used to have a series called Angry Movie Reviews and Angry Guys Theater. It's not that I'm actually upset about this shit, but I'm passionate about this shit. And I feel like it's kind of implied that these are opinions on movies. And so I feel like what happens is I get really heated and passionate about what I'm talking about. And sometimes it can be interpreted as aggression, but I feel like people are taking it as me attacking their opinions, and that's not what's going on. It's Bill Burr has a really good example, a really good bit where he goes, why people always ask me why I'm yelling. It's not that I'm yelling, it's that I have a lot of opinions and I want to get them out before you can say what you were going to say.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's going on here. Is I'm very opinionated, I'm very passionate. If I have an opinion that differs from your opinion, I am not attacking your opinion. I am
That's,
not saying,
I think, the biggest issue is people take other people's opinions as attacks, and it's just not the case.
No, that's not what's happening here. And I'm not going to apologize if people take it that way, because that's not up to me for you to interpret what's going on. Because you're interpreting inflection. Like if you're interpreting something that I said, then yeah, you can hold that against me. But if it's because it comes off as attacking because you misinterpret the inflection and not what I'm saying, that's not on me.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's one more comment on this video that I do want to touch on, and this actually came in yesterday. And here is our clickbait, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, DVDs are already dead. I had hundreds of DVDs that I could not give away. I can't remember the last time I popped in a DVD. I don't even have a DVD player hooked up to my TV. This blows my mind. This blows my mind. And I think this only blows my mind because this is not something that is uncommon. I think it's more uncommon for people like us to have large amounts of DVDs behind us and shit, and to be pulling them off the wall and to be watching them. And that's going to be less and less uncommon the further we go down this rabbit hole of DVDs and Blu-rays dying, because I don't care what any of you say, that is what's happening.
That is what's happening.
It's my opinion, but...
And again, we're giving this opinion. We are agreeing that they're dying while simultaneously holding on to every piece of physical media that we can get our hands on.
Yes.
And that's what I don't think people understood about that video, is they're acting like we're saying, like, fuck physical media, we want it to die. No, we're acknowledging that it's dying, which it 100% is. But we're also saying we don't want that to happen. And we got so many comments for that video, like we were saying, like, down with physical media, and it's like, I feel like you didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because like
exactly.
we're not gonna give you little sound bites that you can interpret an entire episode off of, because that's kind of the point of having an educated debate, is addressing both sides of it and then going, this is the lane I'm choosing to stick to.
No, I totally agree. So the next couple comments we're going to go through here are all from other specific videos. This first one is from our, what's it called? Analyzing the Bear video. Now, this is about a TV show. It's a season 1 review. And this came in a few months ago, and I wanted to address it because the whole idea behind that video is that we're like explaining the ending. And I guess we didn't explain it in depth enough. This says, can somebody please explain the money? I'm confused. So Michael borrowed $300K from Uncle Jimmy, yet there's this whole KBL can thing where I assume there's $300K in the red sauce cans. That is accurate because the books all back that up. Wouldn't Cammy just pay all that money back to Uncle Jimmy and be out of debt? Or is the idea that they're going to spruce up the restaurant and still owe Uncle Jimmy the $300K that will be paid off via small events? So
that one.
I honestly, I'm kind of, it blows my mind that I even have to say these words because I thought it was so glaringly obvious. Yes. That's the idea. And the whole ending to The Bear season 1 is them renaming the restaurant The Bear and implying that they're going to make a fine dining high-end restaurant out of this shitty sandwich shop. So yes, there was $300,000 in those cans. Yes, that is the same money that he borrowed from Uncle Jimmy. He put them in the cans. We'll skip the fact over how the hell did he do that. I don't know. That's not really. It's not really important.
No, I'll tell you what happened. He opened the can. He put the money in the can. The sauce that spilled out, he took a towel and he went, whoop. And then he put the cans back.
So yes, that is the same money that he took from Uncle Jimmy. And basically, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, and I think this is probably going to be touched on in season 2. This is why Michael borrowed that money, because he, I think, was kind of under the impression that Uncle Jimmy may not hold, what's his name? Carmi. Is
Yeah.
that right? Carmi. He may not hold Carmi to that same $300,000 that he borrowed, and he knew he was going to commit suicide. And so he took that money out thinking Uncle Jimmy would sort of write it off as a wash, not knowing, unbeknownst to him, that at the beginning of season 1, Uncle Jimmy's going to go walking up to the guy that now runs the restaurant and says, you owe me $300,000. Yes, Carmi is taking that $300,000. He's going to put it into the restaurant. He's going to spruce it up, make it fine dining, and then try to cross his fingers and hope that they make enough money back to pay Uncle Jimmy as well as run a successful high-end restaurant. I can't believe I don't have to say that, but
And now that we've blown your minds, you can go back and watch season 1 from a different perspective.
Yeah. I think that I personally thought all of that was pretty self-explanatory, but I guess it wasn't.
Well, that's because you're stupid.
So the next one I want to respond to is Nightmare on Elm Street. This says 3 is the worst. Just give up, guys.
Give up. Just give up. You know what? You know what? He's right. He's right.
He's right.
I can't do this anymore.
I wrote back, "Oh no, I have a different opinion than you."
Yeah.
That one was me.
Again, dude, and maybe, you know what, Mike? This is really our fault, though, because, we should have known that going into a genre, a niche like this on YouTube would bring out people that I just don't understand the mentality of going, you have a differing opinion, so fuck you in the face. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
And again, it's one of these things. It's like, just because your opinion differs doesn't mean you sit there and go give up. I got a better idea. You send us your best YouTube idea, and we will completely modify our channel. Except we won't, because that's ridiculous, and you're being ridiculous.
I will say, horror fans, in my opinion and from my past experiences, are usually very outspoken.
Totally.
And if you are not,
Absolutely.
But if you are not running with the crowd that is horror fans, they will fucking tear you apart in comments and stuff. And so many of these people, so many of the people that are in the horror community are very outspoken. They're very opinionated, and they feel like if I don't have the same opinion as you do, you can go fuck yourself, and there's nothing that you can say to make me think otherwise. When I just think this entire channel is, and maybe that's what this whole video is about. This entire channel is about our opinions. And just because our opinions differ from yours does not mean that we are attacking your opinions or saying that your opinion is wrong. Opinions.
Dude, do you know how many times I go on Rotten Tomatoes and I go on IMDb, and after watching a movie and I go, I didn't feel that way about it at all? Do you know how many times I left a comment going, fuck you, Roger Ebert? Never.
Zero.
Not once. Not once, because it's okay to have a differing opinion.
Exactly.
And you know what? If you had left a comment that went, "What about this? What about that?" I'll be the first one to sit there and go, "You know what? I didn't look at it that way. I didn't watch it that way. Maybe I was wrong. I was wrong."
Here's a great example of that on that very exact same video. This guy, McGuffin, said, very odd that 3 is your least favorite, being the fan favorite. It is where Freddy becomes more comedic. And I thought it was pretty well done. Now, this got me to respond in a way that is not, go fuck your own face.
Yep, because he's sitting there going, I don't agree with you. I don't think you're right, but let's have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue.
Exactly. I said I should have led with the fact that I haven't seen the Nightmare sequels in a very long time. So if I went back and gave 3 another chance, I might like it more than I did. A lot like I did stupid Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That was the whole idea behind that video, is I rewatched it and I actually liked it. And I changed my opinion based on how I have grown as a person. That's the whole idea behind the Texas Chainsaw 2 video. And with this guy is leaving a comment that is not only level-headed, but it also incites me to leave a comment back, therefore having a logical, level-headed conversation about the thing, which is the whole idea behind this channel. Just because we have different opinions does not mean we're saying go fuck yourself.
Well, and not only that, I mean, like there have been like there were comments like that PT guy where we were going back and forth, and it's like, yeah, he started off with this like real like pompous, humble brag kind of comment, but we had a dialogue and we went back and forth eventually.
Right.
And though we never came to an agreement on anything, there was still a conversation there, and even that was like kind of bordering on dickishness. But I still responded in a way where it's like, well, what about this? What about that? Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And on the same token, when we look at like the DVD sales figures again, we go back to that where I'll sit there and I'll go, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm completely full of shit. None of these are hills I'm willing to die on. Like they are hills that I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe a hobbit hole would look better there, or maybe we do take a little bit off the top. Maybe we do change something, but it's not going to be that way if you're going to sit there and go fuck you.
Yeah. Well, we may have come off like a little bit of dickheads in this video, and I think that's okay. These are just the way that our brains react to the comments that you guys leave. If you guys want to have an actual conversation with us,
I love.
Yeah, I love that too. Leave a level-headed, even-keeled comment, and we will respond in the exact same way. But if you are an asshole to us, we will be assholes right back to you. We have zero issue with that. So it's all a matter of how you comment to us. These are our opinions. They are not better or worse than any of yours, but how you respond to our opinions is going to dictate how we respond back to you. And all of these things, it's about movies. This is about stupid, fun, idiotic, dumb crap, and they are opinions on said crap. And just because you do not agree with them does not make us wrong, and it doesn't make you right, or vice versa. And I think it's important to remember that as you comment on not just ours, but anybody's podcast, review, any of that stuff that is opinion-based. All of it is really, it's super important that you remember these are all opinion based, and we are not saying that you are wrong and we are right. We are just spouting out our opinions, and that is it.
I grew up around passive aggressive alcoholics. Come at me.
So, if you guys like this, make sure you hit the like button. If you really liked it, make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can be assholes together. And make sure you go check out some of the stuff we've been putting out recently. Brett's Cabinet of Curiosities video has done pretty well. I think that's a very good... I thought it would. Yeah, me too. That's a very good review on that series if you're interested in television. We also just did a review on The Barbarian. It's very divisive, so if you're into that sort of thing, go check out our Barbarian review. Did I say thank you for watching? Because we really appreciate it. Thank you to all the 100 subs.
And actually, yeah, but before we sign off, I want to make it very, very, very clear. We text each other every time we get one subscriber.
Yeah.
Every time somebody subscribes, we text each other with excitement. So we genuinely love and appreciate every single one of you that subscribes. And we're very appreciative.
Yeah, extremely. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time from the deep. Bye-bye.
Talk.